Hey there, it's Seb Frey here with another exciting episode of It's a Seb Show. Hey, have you heard the news? Well, maybe not, because it's not that big of a news. I mean, there's so much else happening in the world, like this crushing heat wave we're going through right now, and drought, and all the other things. You may have missed it. Well, the big news is that Redfin, you've heard of Redfin probably, they came out with this study that showed that the U.S. real estate market is softening just a bit, that the market is not quite as absolutely bonkers now, in the past month or so compared to, earlier in the springtime. And some people are kind of losing it over that. They're saying, oh my God, this is it. The bubble is popping, the bubble's bursting, or it's deflating, or the market's about to go in the tank, that, aha, all you suckers who bought houses, you're in for it now. Now, people aren't actually saying that, but I know that a lot of people are thinking about that because there's this great consternation around there about like, oh my God, like the prices are so high right now and the market is so insane that any kind of glimmer that all of this is some kind of a mirage or a charade or like some kind of fake market that we're in right now, any kind of, stories about that, there's a lot of receptive audiences to hearing that the real estate market is about to tank. I mean, there's a lot of buyers out there, certainly, who are hoping that there will be a clawback in pricing, right? That prices will come down. Unfortunately, we haven't actually seen anything like that, really. What we have seen is that there has been a decrease in pending sales and homes actually closing escrow, selling finally. We have seen a pullback in that, and that is leading some people to say that, okay, well, the market really is now on a downward trajectory. Well, what do I think about that? Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm happy to share what I think about that. What I think about that is what I've been telling people for many, many years, and that is locally here in the greater, San Francisco Bay Area, that we have basically two big markets every year. We have the spring market and the fall market, and right between those two would be the summer market, which we are basically in right now. I would call this the summer market. We're in the summer market now, and the summer market is usually a little less active than the spring and the fall markets. Now, last year, we had a very busy summer market, and that was because, obviously, we didn't have really a spring market at all. There, March, April, and May, good chunk of all those months, well, all of April, certainly, there was really no real estate selling whatsoever due to COVID, right? So then the season got pushed out, and so we saw a lot of business in the summertime and in the fall and even well into the winter. I mean, December was an absolutely insane month. There twice as number of sales happened in December as happened in a typical year around here. Absolutely crazy. So last year, the market cycle was very different. No one was going on vacation, right, in the summertime, right? So people were buying real estate in the summertime more than they usually do. Now, so this summer, what do you have? Yesterday, the California economy totally open, right? Open houses are back. Travel restrictions have been lifted. People are going away on vacation with gusto, right? There's a lot of people who are checking out now that they can, fly and be free. So I think that it's not surprising to see that we are returning to more of a normal pattern and maybe even more of an exaggerated pattern because people didn't really do anything last summer. So I think a lot of people are, out doing other things because they are finally able to do so. So this isn't really anything that's different. I think it may be a bigger swing than we've seen in the past because of the unusual circumstances we're having right now, but we're certainly not seeing any price decreases. We may be seeing some easier competition. There may be fewer buyers out there looking right now. And part of that is because people are, now occupied with summer and graduation and like trips and vacations and stuff like that, which they haven't done for quite some time. And some of that, frankly, is due to buyer fatigue, right? I mean, like, it's been so nasty out there for buyers. It's been really, really hard. When, every property you put an offer on gets 10 offers or whatever, there can be only one buyer's going to get that, and there can be 9 broken hearts. That's a very draining cycle to go through time and time again and see the houses sell for like $100,000 more than you were offering or whatever. That is draining. I can see why people would want to take a break from that. So we do have this little interregnum, right, which may be a bit of a lull, although I have to say, honestly, it's not very much of a lull. I mean, we might be going from having, 10 offers on a property down to 3, right? I mean, like, it's still competitive, right? Buyers are still competing for these properties. It's not like you list your home for sale and you don't get any takers. You still get a lot of interest in the property, but you may not right now be seeing quite the same level of insanity in terms of offers and offer prices that you were seeing a few months ago. But in no way do I believe that this is any kind of like, beginning of the end for our really crazy bull market that we've been having lately. And did you see this article that came out in Bloomberg a couple of days ago? It was all about the California economy. Well, guess what? California economy, #1 in the USA. And actually, it's basically #1 in the world for many, many metrics, excluding China, of course. Obviously, China, GDP growing at 14% or whatever. I mean, like, no one can touch that. But for many, many metrics, like rising incomes and, like innovation and like the value of our publicly traded companies, like all these numbers, it's a really interesting article. Just look for it, Google it, Bloomberg, California economy #1. Just Google that. Fantastic article that really goes to show you just how robust the California economy is. And when you look at it, when you look at just the numbers in that article alone, you can really see how this market that we're in has legs, right? So like, hey, listen, buyers, I got to tell you, like, don't give up because, the fall could be just every bit as crazy as the spring market was. But I do want to talk about that because I know all kinds of people are like, very interested to know, like, what is going on with the real estate market. Is it precarious? Are we on a downward trend? I don't think so. I really don't. And just look at that Bloomberg article. It was published, I believe, on June 14th, 2021. Read that article. Check it out. All right. Well, listen, that's about it for this episode of It's a Seb Show. Thank you so much for watching. But I'm very curious, very, very curious to know what you think about this. So would you do me a favor? Would you write a comment here on YouTube? That would be, oh man, I would love it if you would do that. Write a comment or give me a thumbs up would be terrific. Or even share this with somebody that you know who is, interested in the real estate market here. That would be fantastic. And this, man, would be the best. Hit that subscribe button. Ding! Click it right there on YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really love it. All right. Well, that's it. That's it for this episode of It's a Seb Show. But don't worry. Hey, it's okay. I'll have another episode up again before too long.